The latest real estate stats for Sarasota just came out, and the numbers clearly show that single-family homes and condos are moving in very different directions, and they really need to be looked at as two separate markets. By the way, before I break down these numbers, if you're thinking about buying or selling here in Sarasota County and you want clear, honest guidance, feel free to reach out anytime. The easiest way to contact me is to call or text me directly at 941-465-9206. You can also click one of the links in the description below. Okay, one of the biggest challenges with real estate headlines is that they often talk about the market as if it's just one giant thing. But here in Sarasota, that's really not the case right now. We're seeing two very different stories depending on whether you're looking at single-family homes or condos. So let's start with single-family homes because despite what some people say, this part of the market has been noticeably stronger. First of all, sales activity for single-family homes picked up significantly in November. Sarasota County saw nearly a 30% increase in home sales compared to last year, which tells us demand in this segment is solid. And remember, real estate, just like everything else, is all about supply and demand. And demand for single-family homes has clearly gone up since last year. As for the average sale price for single-family homes, it's actually showing signs of stabilization. While median sale prices are still lower than they were a year ago, down about 6.5%, prices did increase by about 3% month over month. This suggests the market is stabilizing rather than continuing to fall. Now, when we look at how many days on average it takes to get a home under contract, what we call time to contract, single-family homes were fairly steady year over year, taking only about 2% longer to go under contract than they did a year ago. However, compared to last month, homes actually went under contract about a week faster, with the average now being 54 days from the time it's listed until the time it's in contract. Those are very similar numbers to what we had in 2019 prior to the pandemic. And just to put things in perspective for those who are talking about how this market is just like 2008 all over again, in 2008, the average time it took to get a home under contract in Sarasota County was 172 days. That's a far cry from today's 54 days. Okay, now for inventory levels. Remember, while closed sales help us understand the demand side of things, inventory levels help us understand the supply side of things. And inventory for single-family homes not only dipped slightly from October to November from a 5-month supply to about a 4.8-month supply, inventory levels are also down nearly 8% compared to this time last year. And again, if you want to compare that to 2008, we were well over a 15-month supply of homes back then. So again, anyone trying to compare this market to 2008 just doesn't know what they're talking about, because really these numbers point to a relatively strong market for single-family homes here in Sarasota County. Demand is clearly up, supply is clearly down, and prices do appear to be stabilizing. However, for condos, it's a different story. Sales activity moved in the opposite direction. Condo sales slipped by about 3.5% compared to this time last year, which obviously means buyer demand is down. Pricing tells a similar story. Median sales price for condos is down by nearly 12% since last year. That's a pretty big drop. The one bright spot for condos is the time to contract. This was actually a big surprise. Condos moved faster both year over year and month over month. The time to contract dropped more than 6% compared to last year and nearly 40% compared to last month. It now takes an average of 61 days to get a condo under contract in Sarasota County. Inventory, however, remains the biggest challenge for the condo market. Condo inventory not only increased month over month from a 7.5-month supply to over an 8-month supply, it's also almost 30% higher than it was a year ago. And that oversupply is going to continue to put pressure on condo pricing. So, what does this mean going forward? When you step back and look at all of this together, November's data reinforces a simple point. The real estate market is not one size fits all. Single-family homes and condos are operating in two very different environments right now, and strategies that work in one segment don't always translate to the other. Understanding these differences, rather than relying on these broad headlines, is what allows buyers and sellers to make confident, informed decisions. So if you'd like to talk about how these numbers apply to your specific situation, whether you're buying or selling or just planning ahead, I'm always happy to help. All of my contact information is in the description below. Just reach out anytime. See you in the next video.